No, sir, I don't remember where that conversation took place. I don't recall either. Senator, I have no recollection of knowing when that occurred. I don't recall the specific mention of this conversation. I don't recall, Mr. Senator, I don't recall any dissent. I don't recall, and I don't recall whether it was Mr. Mercer who presented me the number. There are two that I do not recall knowing in my mind. Senator, I don't recall in connection with this review process. I do not recall what I knew about it. I just don't recall the reason. The Senator, that I don't recall remembering, I don't recall the reason why. Senator, I don't recall sending a follow-up. I don't recall being a... Senator, I don't recall specifically I don't have any recollection about the mechanics of I don't recall making any... I don't recall ever saying... I don't recall ever doing that. Senator, I don't recall whether or not I made the decision that day. I don't recall exactly when the decision... Senator, I don't recall... No, I don't recall being aware of the letter. Senator, I don't recall whether there's been action on that, but... Senator, I can't recall whether or not at the time he made... Senator, I don't recall having specific questions, or... I don't recall such a conversation, but I don't recall asking for a reporting run. Senator, I don't recall that occurring. Senator, I have searched my memory. I have no recollection of the meeting. I have no recollection of that meeting. Yes, I have no memory of this, but I can only testify as to what I recall. Believe me, but I don't recall the contents of this meeting. I don't know that a decision was made at that meeting. Sir, I don't recall when the decision was made. Senator, I wasn't aware of this email. Sir, I don't recall the exact time frame, but sir, I didn't tell him 15 or 20. I don't recall telling him 15 or 20 times. I do not recall. I'm sorry. I thought your question was, do you recall the conversation? I don't recall the conversation. I don't recall whether or not I was present. I suspect I probably was, but I don't recall. I don't recall, sir. Where is it? Sir, I don't recall ever seeing. I don't recall him speaking to me about that, sir. I don't recall precisely what he said, but I don't remember or recall what happened after that. Senator, I don't recall having any conversations with Mr. Rove. I can't recall exactly what I said, but Senator, I don't recall specific. Senator, I don't recall the number. Senator, I don't recall there being an audit. I don't recall such an audit. As Attorney General, I don't recall taking such a position, sir. I don't recall the President ever telling me specifically to fire a United States Attorney, sir. I don't recall remembering the reasons. Senator, I don't recall the meeting. Senator, I don't recall whether he called or whether it was a visit. It may have been a call.